Hey, this is Brooke, functional medicine dietitian specializing in fertility, and this is the Fertility Dietitian podcast, where I help you uncover the barriers that are preventing you from optimizing your fertility and teach you how to work with your body to finally take home a healthy baby. Each week, I will be diving into different topics on fertility and sharing my perspective on physiology, metabolic health, nutrition, and lifestyle approaches that have helped hundreds of couples get pregnant even after years of heartache. My goal is to empower you with the knowledge you need to take back control of your fertility. Happy listening. Welcome back to the Fertility Dietitian podcast. This season 2, we have a lot of fun topics to talk about, and I couldn't help but start this season with another chat about egg quality. There is still so much noise out there about just misinformation about not being able to improve egg quality, and this is so untrue. I've seen it in practice for the last decade. And we're actually getting some even better quality research showing that we have way more impact on the health of our fertility, longevity of our fertility, and our egg quality than most conventional providers really understand or believe. So today we're talking about how we can level up your egg quality. We're going to dive into mitochondria health, oxidative stress, and how the immune system is connected to egg quality as well. Egg quality is not random. It is biology that we can influence. And today we're going to unpack these 3 levers, the mitochondrial function, oxidative stress, and immune balance, and then talk about practical habits and supplements that can support all of these areas. So grab your hot beverage. We're going to get nerdy in the best way. All right, so egg cells have 10 times the mitochondria that other cells in our body do. And remember that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell or the energy producers of the cell. So this gives you an idea of just how much energy it takes to create healthy eggs. It's a lot, okay? 10 times the amount of mitochondria in our egg cells, all right? So we need a ton of energy to support just egg development and definitely support the quality of ovulation. When mitochondrial outputs drop, eggs struggle with things like spindle formation, chromosomal segregation, and early embryo development. Okay, these pieces are really, really important in the actual quality of the egg and its ability to be fertilized and continue development from there. Multiple research reviews and lab models show that mitochondrial genome health and copy number are tightly regulated inside our oocytes or our egg cells. Too few copies or dysfunctional mitochondria correlate with poorer developmental potential. In animal research, we see that preserving mitochondrial DNA copy number under oxidative stress actually improves oocyte quality or the egg cell quality themselves. And in human reviews, we also outline how this mitochondrial DNA quantity and quality influences fertilization and embryo progression. So the number of mitochondria DNA is important too, and the quality, of course, is going to be extremely important as well. And so I am referencing research, and all of these citations will be linked in the show notes if you do want to check those out, potentially share them with your providers as well. So what can we take away from this information is really that we want to protect the powerhouse of the cell. We got to protect that mitochondria, and we can see egg quality improve. Right? Oxidative stress is another big area that we need to think about when we're thinking about egg quality as well. So when we're thinking about oxidative stress, we're thinking about an imbalance between pro-oxidants and antioxidants. Okay, this is consistently linked with impaired egg quality maturation, meiotic errors, and lower embryo quality. So the more oxidative stress there is, the harder time that our eggs have to mature and function the way that we need them to. So more redox imbalance in contexts like advanced maternal age, PCOS, endometriosis, and metabolic dysfunction is typically what we see, but there's a lot that we can do to decrease this oxidative stress, no matter what your diagnosis is, or if age is the main factor that you are working on managing to improve your egg quality. Research is showing us that we can actually map out how excessive oxidative stress damages mitochondrial membranes and DNA. So we're linking mitochondrial health to oxidative stress. And when there is more oxidative stress that damages that mitochondrial health, it definitely decreases normal egg development and oocyte biology, so like the quality of those egg cells as well. So let's talk about what you can do to decrease this oxidative stress, which will definitely support mitochondrial health as well. So lifestyle things to think about that can move the needle here include nourishing antioxidant systems with plant diversity, aiming for 30 to 40 unique plants each week is a really good goal in order to feed your microbiome derived antioxidants and polyphenols. So you can see that gut health is going to play a role in oxidative stress as well. The gut is very much connected to fertility in so many different ways. Increasing plant diversity in our diet, fruits and veggies, and our starchy veggies, as well as our whole grains, can all play a role. Our nuts and seeds even can really help with that diversity and support decrease in oxidative stress to improve mitochondrial health and overall egg quality too. Train smart. So we see in the research that higher physical activity actually is associated with lower infertility risk. But we have to be smart about this because too much activity can be very depleting too. Okay, so moderate training improves insulin sensitivity and lowers oxidative burden. We see in practice that strength training is really something to prioritize because you're going to get a lot of the metabolic benefits, be able to decrease oxidative stress, improve that mitochondrial health without depleting yourself. Overly depleting yourself too. Of course, you have to monitor intensity and length of exercise too, but this all comes down to listening to your body and figuring out what is going to be best for you as an individual. But exercise can be highly beneficial. And last but certainly not least, guarding your sleep and your circadian rhythm is so important for supporting our egg quality by also reducing that oxidative stress and damage and supporting that mitochondrial health for really powering up the energy creation inside our eggs and supporting egg quality. So melatonin is a hormone that we produce at nighttime to support falling asleep and staying asleep, and it is a potent intrafollicular antioxidant. So it itself is going to be supporting egg quality too. Sleep is so important for so many aspects of fertility. All right, so we've talked a little bit about mitochondrial health. We've talked a little bit about oxidative stress, and now we're going to talk about the immune system and how it is associated with ovarian health and egg quality health. So the ovary is not isolated, all right? If you've been listening to me or consuming my content for a while, you know that the entire body, all of the systems are connected to our reproduction in one way or another. And part of the reason is actually linked to the immune system. All right. The ovaries and the immune system are actually in constant dialogue. Inflammatory states like endometriosis, for instance, can actually disrupt follicular environments. one hallmark in endometriosis is actually altered natural killer cells, and the cell function and local immune tolerance, which can actually skew implantation environments and may indirectly impair egg competence through inflammatory mediators. Okay, so what does all that mean? Basically, we want to remember that cooling or decreasing chronic inflammation with the help of nutrition, movement, stress adaptation, and targeted therapies for conditions like endometriosis is going to support a friendly environment for our egg cells to mature at a better rate and a higher quality too. So our immune system can definitely contribute to too much inflammation in and around the ovaries and influencing follicular development environments. And I've mentioned endometriosis, but inflammation and really how the immune system's impacting the ovaries can come from so many other areas. Not just endometriosis. Okay, that's just probably the most commonly thought about ones. Our gut is very, very involved in immune system function as well. And I very briefly mentioned that immune system state is very, very important for successful implantation of an embryo as well. So we definitely have to think about the whole picture, as we always do when we're thinking about the connections between immune system and ovaries and what is actually driving that immune system dysregulation and influencing egg quality, which is really where that private coaching piece can come in so helpful to dig down to your root causes and figure out how to specifically connect the dots here. But knowing this information is a really good start. And we are absolutely going to talk about more tips about what you can get started with right now. So food first is always my approach. And we want to be thinking about what a mitochondria friendly, low oxidative stress plate really looks like. So think about protein and minerals. So we want high quality animal proteins, shellfish like oysters, that are going to be really rich in zinc, eggs, whole eggs that are going to give you good amounts of choline and your fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A. Grass-fed meats are going to be supportive of iron. And then legumes can be really supportive for boosting up intake of like folate and fiber too. So protein is really important, making sure we're hitting our protein goals because of the minerals that come along with those high quality proteins. And then all sorts of minerals are going to be really, really crucial because minerals are actually required by all of our cells in order to help that mitochondria function and help that mitochondria create the energy that it needs to create to support that quality of follicle development. Okay, so protein and minerals, we can't forget about color and polyphenols. So berries and pomegranates, citrus and cocoa or cacao, olives and olive oils, herbs, spices like turmeric and rosemary, green tea. Think of these deep, rich colors. They are full of antioxidants and polyphenols that are going to reduce oxidative stress and support that mitochondrial activity. Also have anti-inflammatory properties, which are going to support that immune system function and connection with egg quality as well. Omega-3 fats, especially from our fatty fish, is going to support anti-inflammatory signals, as well as just overall health of that egg membrane. So that follicle and the membrane, the cell membranes are really made out of fat. And so the types of fat that we're consuming are going to create the cell membranes of the egg in a either more or less inflammatory state. All right. So we have our protein and minerals, our color in our diet, and our omega-3 fatty acids. We also want to make sure that we're getting fiber diversity. So, I've mentioned how important gut health is for all of these pieces of egg quality. And fiber is going to be a really helpful piece of how we support that gut connection. So, mixed soluble and insoluble resistant starches, things like oats, legumes, cooked and then cooled potatoes and rice, green bananas, or at least bananas that have some green in the peel. It doesn't have to be completely crunchy. Onions and garlic, artichokes are all going to be helpful to generate short chain fatty acids that reinforce antioxidant defenses as well. So, again, lots of connections happening here. And thinking about balance in how you're eating is really important. And it also helps create metabolic stability. So, balancing carbs with protein and fat to really support that blood sugar management is also going to help reduce oxidative stress and reduce inflammation, support that immune system piece as well. All right. So, you're probably wondering about supplements as well. So, I hope you start with food first and some of the lifestyle tips that we talked about above, like making sure that you're individualizing your exercise and prioritizing your sleep. And supplements should always be individualized with your provider, hopefully somebody who's very familiar with how everything's kind of connecting together and how to really impactfully support a quality and overall reproductive environment. Okay, so I don't recommend blindly taking these, but these supplements that I'm going to talk about have really good research around them, and I use often for supporting egg quality too. So, CoQ10, we definitely want the ubiquinol form, not the ubiquinone form, but it is a great antioxidant that has really good research around supporting overall like mitochondrial function and reducing oxidative stress. Going for 200 to 600 milligrams a day, ideally divided, and taking no later than noon is what I recommend because it can interfere with sleep. But this dose is really going to depend on what your overall picture looks like. Melatonin can be an excellent support too, especially if you're having trouble with your sleep quality. Taking a low dose, like a 2 to 3 milligrams at night, is going to be supportive of a quality as well. Supplements like myo-inositol, especially when there's more metabolic imbalances happening, insulin resistance signs, or actual lab data. This one is going to be a really helpful one for supporting overall metabolic effects that impact follicle development and egg quality. NAC, or N-acetylcysteine, is another one that is going to be really supportive at decreasing oxidative stress and therefore supporting mitochondrial activity and of course, the egg quality as well. Other antioxidants like resveratrol, PQQ, or L-carnitine can definitely be supportive too, but it really depends on your overall picture. I don't recommend just blindly supplementing a whole bunch of different things because we can definitely use too many supplements and we don't want supplements to be the focus. We want nutrition and lifestyle to be the focus because that's really where you're going to get the needle to move the most. Filling in the gaps with supplements is definitely appropriate, but don't overdo it with all of the supplements. Okay. All right. So, kind of recapping here, things that I would really encourage you to focus on for overall mitochondria health, immune balance, reducing the oxidative stress to really support that egg quality include exercise or movement. So, think about walking, resistance training, keeping exercise overall moderate intensity, and of course, making sure you're fueling around this exercise and paying attention to your cycle signs to listen to your body and make sure that you're adapting appropriately to exercise and movement as you go. It's easy to overdo exercise, especially if you're going into a routine depleted already. So there's an important balance that needs to happen there. Sleep like it's your job. Okay. 7 to 9 hours is a goal. Really make sure that your room is very dark. Like you shouldn't even be able to see your hand when it's 6 inches in front of you. The sleep and the quality of the sleep that you're getting is very important. So make sure you're turning your screens off an hour before you're going to sleep, ideally staring at the sunrise. You don't have to stare directly at the sun, but watching the sunrise can be very supportive for overall sleep quality as well, even immune system function. 2, reducing toxins is going to be an important one to really make sure that you're supporting overall energy production and energy being focused on reproduction health and rather than toxin elimination. Okay, I have a whole episode on this that I'll link in the show notes from last season. Thinking about adaptation to stress is really important too. If you need to incorporate things like breath work, more time in nature, just more sunshine as a whole, could all be really helpful for reducing the oxidative stress and damage. And of course, adding to your support team can be really, really helpful as well. So remember that egg quality is the downstream result of energy production, redox balance, and a cooperative immune environment. And the combo that wins is going to be unique to you, but these are really foundational tips that I hope you can start with, and making sure that you're, boosting your protein and your fiber, eating for blood sugar balance throughout the day, getting joyful movement in, and good sleep quality is always a really good place to start. Okay, always remember that supplements are not going to be replacing your food, and to give it time. Okay, it's realistic to expect significant improvements in egg quality after a 3 to 4 month time period, but this really depends on where you're starting right now. If you have a lot of changes to make to help support a really fertility friendly, safe, nourished environment, then it might take you a little longer, and that's okay, but it's absolutely possible to change that environment and improve your egg quality. Okay. I'm always here to support you. Don't ever hesitate to reach out. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Fertility Dietitian podcast. If you enjoyed it, please leave a review to let me know what topics you want more of or less of. If you want to keep learning, subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out my website for more info on my private coaching program, Master Your Fertility, or my membership community, Fertility Blueprint. And don't forget my digital store. Come say hi on YouTube and Instagram. See you in the next episode.